Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
We have another random encounters for you. This time we've got Grandia, which is something we have yet to showcase on the channel, unfortunately. We're fortunately going to fix that today. One thing I wanted to stick in there real quick at the front, we do still have game submissions open and a producer, content team, content production form open as well. So feel free to look into those as needed. So I'm just going to post them real quick in chat. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to turn it over to our player for today, Jullemasa. Hey, hello, Jules. And the floor is yours.
Yeah. Be nervous already. But yeah, but talk about this game as it's I kind of show in the showcase as how this game is kind of, well, it's not 100% could say nice to speedrun.
Yeah.
But, well, reasons. Every boss is almost pretty... You can die almost every boss in this game. It's just... Some are a lot easier, so... Well, the hardest bosses comes like up on the original, it comes like in 8 hours, 10 hours mark, which is...
Yeah, there was a lot of days where I was watching runs of yours, and it's like I did something that took the entire day, and you still weren't done with the run. And I'm like, what resolve?
Yeah, some stuff sure can be really awful, but can say you start at least thinking to start this kind of like one from the start. I just did a lot of saves there and there, maybe to show. Probably not all of them. But let's start the first boss that is kind of hard, but same time, it's most likely more time loss than anything else.
Good old Mr. Punchy.
Yeah, one of the most iconic bosses, could say, that got, well, one part of the one game that is a playable character in Parallel Trippers.
Yeah, because it feels like these bosses are a lot more brutal with the less party members you have, because you have so many less options to stun lock them.
Yeah, that was also the reason why Justin alone fights are usually pretty slow and pretty annoying on a way. Maybe Kevin is the only one that kind of is more tolerable because he doesn't use Vanish. That zeros the whole thing. Well, the powers that you have.
Yeah.
Well, power-ups, I mean. At least the music is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you basically just use a couple of the defense buffs. The buffs in this game are really important for almost every fight. Kind of want him to use this move, the normal attacks, because, well, he slows down pretty much by doing it. The tornado punches. Well,
this game is super cool though, because like you get magic books to learn magic, but you can choose who to use it on and what type. The combat being like one of the more interesting active time battles. This is live, yeah. It'll be recording later on YouTube, but as of right now, this is live.
This is pretty good luck for starters, at least.
I know, right? You would think this was pre-recorded, but the luck we're seeing. Kung Fu's, a lot of these bosses are super rude, and because of the way the active time battle kind of shakes out, it can be feast or famine. I've seen a lot of runs die here, unfortunately, and I don't even run the game.
It's kind of like often the mistakes. There comes the iconic one first. at least I got the defense in time.
It's the amount of expressiveness they get out of these sprites too is so great. This game is a really good casual play, if nothing else.
No.
And then we also have like the more modern re-release, so it's not inaccessible like it used to be.
Face slash.
You don't also can't use much of the E-slashes here for sure. It's kind of sad on our way, but also that was lucky. Also this stupid fair play sometimes.
Oh yeah, auto battle doing its thing.
I want to relay on also on the fair play pretty many times, but the random critical is kind of annoying time to time for sure. But it's just faster.
Yeah, for those not familiar, there is like an auto battle setting in this game, and fair play is like the normal setting. It's kind of similar to Pixel Remasters, like auto battle, because it makes things go a little bit quicker, but it more so just saves input time. It's not exactly your best friend, though. Sometimes you put that on and you're like, oh no, why did I do this? Why have I made this mistake?
But yeah, that was probably one of the best fights against.
I know. It's one of those. It couldn't have gone any better in practice.
Yeah, only one tornado punch, and that's it. And well, that was a short show at least for that game.
Yeah, that's what you're normally looking for with this. The game
I'd say I probably gonna show also the Mio fight just because it can be a.
Oh, I love this fight from a viewer standpoint, but I'm sure it's not very fun unless it goes perfectly.
Mio is the weakest one of the trio, but the balloon is a really dangerous one. Oh, I forgot to recover.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forget the save points allow you to recover for free. I'm used to so many games where you have to pay with a tent or a cabin or something.
I thought I did recover before doing the stuff, but sometimes just...
A speedrunner save. Like, well, I'm either going to survive or I die. All according to plan.
Yeah.
It is nice, though, that the recover is pretty much instantaneous. All you have to do is hit the option, so you really don't lose too much time to it.
Yeah, it sure makes just best. It just saves time at the end.
Yeah, just a little bit. Because a lot of the other games you have to like, oh, I'm not going to use a tent because it's a really long animation. And here it's just select option, run away, done.
Basically want to kill the soldiers first. Of course, well, if the soldiers keeps alive for longer, it's just, you are basically dead.
I don't know, 10 saves. Yeah,
it's kind of...
Go ahead.
Kind of good here. Good layout for all means.
Yeah, this has the more unique like AoE range on spells. It says it only hits one target, but it does actually have a little bit of a range around it. So if you know that, you can get multiple hits off a single spell. Although, as you notice, it is kind of pushing enemies away.
Basically most of the magics have the small area.
Yeah.
They hit, and also often they'll go pretty specific about it, how it basically hits anything really at the end.
Yeah, it's one of the things I like the most about this game is there's a lot of variety in it compared to other games, and a lot of games will have like this tactical movement in this kind of perspective, and it actually doesn't really interact with anything. But in this game, like, positioning allows you to like group up targets, but it also determines how fast you attack and if you can stun lock enemies. It's got a pretty deep combat system.
And this can show the first move. What she
balloons.
Do. Some reason again it didn't cancel when I wanted. That's the criticals are kind of annoying. Also, it kind of depends on the damage input that you kind of can do. How higher your damage is, attack overrides, you higher chance to cancel. It is kind of interesting and annoying. Later games can fix that. Yeah, on the speedrun this could be already annoying. So.
What a weird attack.
Poison is not fun either.
Yeah, I'd imagine if these bosses get you in a stun lock, it's really hard to escape. But if you can get them in a stun lock, your life is really good.
Really? The poison just...
Oh, that was just a... You know, if there wasn't a save point 5 feet away from you, I'd be really mad right now. Oh, the yo-yo stun lock.
Yeah. And as I probably not gonna show the earlier what was her name again? The middle one just. But yeah, that was it has kind of interesting things.
I mean,
she uses specific move if your characters are too close to her. But if they are far enough, it uses the move that you want, basically. She can spam the one specific move all the time, even if someone is close to her. It is kind of interesting again. But yeah, Nana. Nana's. I could, even if I. I mean, we have time here. Also, just gonna, yeah. Could show it anyway, as we have basically time here. Like, most of the bosses normally don't take that one. Oops. Again, there one thing also I kind of hate. Sometimes doesn't read the inputs.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes do the double input. It's just whatever controller I had, it's same issue. It's probably in the game. I think so.
I know. I do Remake and Rebirth, which are action RPGs, and sometimes I swear the game eats inputs, and you're just like, was it me? No, it must be the game. It's the game's fault.
Oh, flame burn him!
At least start go second well here. I could do more damage, but at the same time I don't want anyone close to her. Even at here I probably should show possible outcomes, but this is kind of the normal way how I have been dealing with this, even if it's slower, but there's something.
I gotta say, there's so many like little things in this game that really didn't exist until much later, like the voice lines on attacks and like a spatially important combat arena that didn't become popular until like the more modern generation. It's interesting to take a look back at like, oh, this is tactical, but using a spatial arena versus the old games where it's like, all right, I'm gonna take my turn now and hit you with Fyriga triple ball, and versus this.
Also, there was a good example, the idea when none of us ready for a special attack, it just, if you attack middle of it when she's moving and so on, some reason cancels the whole move middle way. It works on the enemy and it works on you as well.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the leveling up too. As you use abilities, you actually gain experience towards level up, and that allows you to learn new abilities. It's a very cool system that like promotes consistent use of special skills rather than not using them.
Yeah, this spinny yo-yo can be a really dangerous. Okay, it's dead. Everything goes pretty well exactly on here.
Yeah, I get a feeling we're gonna get a good smattering of like really good fights and really rough fights, and that's more or less what Grandia suffers. If you're the type to reset on one bad fight, this is not the game for you.
If it would not have, if it could have a Grandia 3 cutscene skip, it could be probably nicer to run overall.
Modern games have spoiled me. I think without cutscene skip, I'd probably lose it.
But yeah, now it's showing the enemy avoiding, which is...
Oh, yes. The world movement is so cool in this game. It's one of the few ones with like overworld chests, overworld enemies, and like really good movement like this is super cool to watch.
Also, there is just few specific type of enemies really in this game that have specific way they move. Some changes straight at you, some just moves random ways for some reason. And of course they stop if their area.
They have like a nesting or a zone that's all they can aggro in, and then they kind of go back. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, like they have an imaginary ring around them, which is as far as they can go.
Also, original, it's a bit harder to avoid enemies because the lag causes you to go slower than the enemies. This went pretty well when I was practicing, but
yeah, it wouldn't be the first time. After doing like a bunch of showcases and stuff, it can be a little bit hard to execute the first time on a showcasing something for sure.
Oh, I forgot. That I don't.
You guys need more practice.
Poor Sue. I didn't even notice. Uh-oh.
It's the usual.
Yeah.
Kind of the always fanfare when Sue leaves. Yeah, this Maniac. You basically get every Maniac in this game just.
Yeah.
Even at the end you get. Also, the thing is with the enemies, when they hit the wall, they don't move for a couple of seconds, which I at least try to use.
So they kind of stun when they run into the wall, so you can get around them easier. Yeah, it seems like a really good strat, actually.
And also those guys is also an example that enemy just
random movement.
Just go straight road, don't even see you. They just go. You can just hack that one small wall there.
I'd imagine it's one of those skills you build over time, getting used to dodging enemies. I guess this is like the only downside to having multiple characters. It's a little bit harder to dodge since you can grab they can hit the back party member.
Yeah, Gatlin is a pretty huge target behind.
Just he's just a small guy. Don't worry about it. He's a little fella. Yeah, because the mana eggs were what I was talking about earlier. For people not familiar with Grandia, that's how you buy or add new magic. I think it's 4 elements total, but you end up needing the mana eggs for like each individual character to teach them new elements.
Yeah.
And the elements get powerful the longer you use them. When you actually like get both of them leveled up or multiple, they kind of have group skills. So like fire and earth can do volcanic attacks and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's basically fire and wind combination goes the lightning attacks, ice and wind as well. Water and wind keeps ice attacks, and earth and fire. Not sure even that volcano, whatever.
Yeah, I just specifically remember that combination. It's not that it's necessarily good. It's just more so that like the two different elements kind of team up to make a stronger attack is more so what I'm getting at.
Yep. I mean, the chap is pretty strong. Well, the chap moves and so on are pretty strong at the start as when you play casually. Even the Catwin's the iconic move is pretty weak.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny in a way.
Yeah, I really
could show the Catwin's fight, which I save. I think I have to check everything for. I did have everything.
Oh, the legit 1v1 me?
Yeah, I kind of like the most of this fight as 1vs1, just as it's probably the easiest one, but also easiest one to fail on always, just on your own mistake. Yeah, you just put your defense up about 4 or 5, and then use a couple power mushrooms and go forward. Use healing items when needed, or healing. Also, those hurts. Also, the damage what Catwin does is way random. It's really odd. Oh. Well, the damage override is really odd. And now I don't know what he's doing, which is also really like. Now I could just use digging, but. So he can just randomly miss the attacks of this is his weakest special attack.
Here you go. Ha!
There's the dragon cut. Yeah, I need to heal. I could just defense, but probably have to heal it twice anyway.
Come, power of the universe. Ha! Dragon King Slice.
That could just kill me on that spot. On the original guide, you used the big read to make him pretty much weaker, but usually use that on the other fight because the Milda fight she's a lot stronger with the Milda hit than anything that Catwin can do. Also, this is always interesting. Why having the question marks, which is kind of like this game just likes to hide a lot of things, what enemies can do and so on. Now here, it's kind of hard to decide what to do exactly.
Flying dragon slap.
That was good at the end. Wait, how many? I should always look how many times I used this, but There's the one random miss. I just use power mushrooms. This setup takes really long. This, at least not now using only normal. Now I basically just use fair play whenever he uses normal attacks and heal. Well, when I see them. Surprisingly, he was quicker. Always, when I use Catwin, he's always late with his attacks. And there was again the 1, 0, and 6. Well, now it can be dangerous if it uses Dragon Cut. Nope. Now I need to get turned before. Well, nope. Noise. I would not do anything on that point.
Ha! Dragon King Flight.
Up. Basically want exactly like something like that to happen. Yeah, almost. Yeah, the end of the fight is basically like this. Also, it's the funny way. This is the only boss that if you lose, you don't lose any of the items that you used on the fight, and you don't get game over either. Kind of, it kind of fits on over because Catwin doesn't kill you.
So we're going to take a quick tech break real quick, and because 30 just was able to get in here. So give us a few seconds so that we can give you a commentator. It's a little bit more versed with the game. If you can hold on for a bit, Jules.
Yep.
All right, we're at the tech screen, or the break screen. Let me go ahead. He'll be sending you a DM with the link to call in. Hopefully I copied the right one. Yes, I did. Great. As you're clicking through those buttons real quick, 30. Can I have your nameplate just read 30 cents, the same as your Discord username, unless you'd like something different there. Great. Would you like pronoun shown? Okay. Would you like a Twitch channel shown? Also... Great. And then I have room for 2 cameras. We'll obviously keep Julie as the runner. And then 30, do you want to be on camera or do we want to keep Sid on camera? Okay, absolutely. Nice. Yeah. How's it going with that login, 30? Anything we can help with? There you go, yep. And you should be hearing the game audio coming back through there. That's the only thing you'll be hearing out of this tab. Okay. That works. And I need to press a couple of buttons on my side, and then I'm going to ask that you all... There we are, great. Ask that you all start chatting to each other so I can balance levels here a little bit. Looked like we had grabbed the wrong microphone, so I sent a request to try that again. And then can I hear a little bit more from you, 30? Amazing. I think we're good. I think we're ready. Okay, everybody ready to head back in? Oh, okay, we're beginning. Okay.
Howdy, everybody. Thank
Okay.
you for waiting with us. We have our commentator actually managed to join us now, 30 Cent. So we wanted to get him in here so we could actually get some good commentary going instead of whatever I was providing, so you guys could enjoy the show a little bit more. And I'm going to kick it back to you, Jewel, and the rest of the showcase should hopefully go off without a hitch.
Next thing I probably can.
Oh.
They're gonna
ahead,
show
Joel.
the Ruin Guard glitch that just probably is one of the one of the first glitches. Basically only the glitch that was a pretty long time. Was it this one? Forget. Yeah.
This boss would be a lot harder if this glitch wasn't implemented in. Like I think y'all are about to. It's about to get pretty funny, but I'll just let Jewel do his thing here. But we'll explain what happens with this.
Yeah, you basically confused the boomerang. Gonna show exactly what happens if boss gets stuck when it's getting the turn. Well, this now comes basically the kind of the best solution here. Now he's basically stuck. Also, I have a little different setup here than I usually do, because wait, I remember I had different. Well, I did buy something else, but yeah, it's here. Some I don't know details of the glitch, but
Yeah. Who needs to know why it works? As long as it works, that's all runners need to know.
I used to at least grind here more, but hit the side with other character and a couple of the characters and the main body of the couple. But as how much faster things go, and it's kind of made that I wanted to be fast as possible and kill this. Basically, as fast as I can.
And the thing about this fight too is you also in the speedrun you also take advantage of leveling up weapons, so you have better strength and speed for later on in the run, which is very helpful here. We equip Rap with a dagger, and that's the reason for that is because so we can increase his damage and his I think it was if I remember correctly, apologies, it's been a while, but I think it's just to increase damage, which is very, very helpful. So Joel is not doing that necessarily. He's just taking out the boss here, but in a speedrun, we would take our time a little bit to level up some weapons.
Yeah,
Here.
used to hit like this axe with like Wrath that can do mad damage on it.
Right,
and use
yeah.
Justin and Fina to hit the main target.
And what's interesting before is the optional dungeon of Tower of Temptation. Well, we just grabbed there's a bunch of weapons at the start, so you don't even need to go very far at all. But if there's certain weapons that you can grab, it's there's 0 sword, 0 axe, 0 whip. Most importantly, we pick up 0 whip for Fina because we don't really want her to take damage because when you attack with the whip on the axe, it doesn't do any damage to her. Thus, we don't gain any levels with her on that. So we equip 0 whip with her in a speedrun here.
Yeah, I can skip that part, just how long I tried things, just dealing with this, yeah, as mentioned earlier. It kind of makes things harder, of course, but also it kind of saves many minutes without.
Oh, absolutely. But if you were like, say that if you were a beginner at this run, then yeah, that's definitely the ideal way to go. I used to do that all the time when I used to speedrun this game.
I'd say without the glitch, I usually even, well, with the glitch, when this guy gets like 2 turns, it can kill like 3 of the characters right away. It's like almost even all if bad RNG happens, which is show makes that this boss probably would be the one of the probably the hardest boss in the game. Well, almost at least without the glitch.
Oh, for sure. And I
even casually, what I have seen, that most people say that this is probably the hardest boss in the game.
Oh, for sure. And there was some really old school community members might know this name, but there used to be someone named Jimmy33. He was one of the oldest runners of this game, and he used to tell me like stories of like how it was just so awful when he got to this part that it was basically this boss would determine whether your run lives or dies, but thankfully that's not the case anymore. It's just he used to tell me horror stories on that, but thankfully that doesn't happen anymore thanks to that glitch, and it's one of the only very few glitches in the run.
It can be incredibly funny with like some of these where like this is the worst thing that you can encounter, and then it's like, well, I guess it's not that bad anymore.
Exactly. It's always really nice to find a glitch in an RPG like this where there's very little glitches. And, you've all seen. I'm sure you all seen a handful of your Final Fantasy speed runs and your I guess Shining Force is another one that has doesn't have a really abundant amount of glitches in it either, but it's always really nice.
Thinking I'm going a little bit backwards, but probably could show the dragon fight as the Magma Dragon or whatever the whole name is.
Oh, Mad Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is pretty easy if you get especially good layout on the start. But if you don't get fast enough good layout, it can be the worst thing ever.
Oh,
but
it for sure can.
Kind of rarely happens, but
this is I kind of think this fight is a little bit funny to some degree, and I mean Joel's gonna show like how it works, so I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's just super funny to me because I think I used to joke in this fight of how long Sue survives in this fight, and it used to be pretty fun because she usually just dies right away.
Yep. Cannot have.
And right now, she just died in the first turn.
Didn't have even time to use Power Mushroom. Usually I use always on Switch, but well, can't be missed.
It's always so funny.
But the hitboxes with the Fire Breath is kind of there's a lot worse ones, but can be really annoying. But now Fina and everything a pretty good spot as than Sue. But the normal attacks are also really usually only burn. don't move. Oh. That's rare.
Face slash. Take this.
Yeah, the very scary thing about this fight, and it's kind of a small chance that it happens, but Fina moving out of position here is a really scary thing, because she does then, and she moves into a spot where the hitbox of his breathing attack move does is in that hitbox, then she pretty much just dies right away. It's stupid.
Almost. Well, 2 hits and she's dead.
Pretty much, yeah. And it's
Also, I have very often that Justin and Fina dies with this fight. Just the dragon can use half slash for some reason. It's kind of interesting why exactly half slash. And then using the normal attack after that. That basically kills Justin and Fina and Sue, of course. Catwin is the only one that often leaves after this fight. It's kind of annoying on no way, but Catwin is the overall EXP levels aren't the biggest deal with this game, but it makes things a bit harder later on anyway. Yeah,
for sure.
I could show one of them. Also, the Greenway fight is also it has lived. It's on the way here, but
yeah, the classic.
It is. That was. I haven't seen those things move like that before.
There's a small chance that could happen. I never really figured out how this area works specifically. I don't remember if all these enemies here work on a pattern or the pattern's just really random. I was never really able to figure that out, but my assumption is that they are on a pattern.
Also, those enemies that spawn on there, those 3 enemies, they're kind of like, sometimes they don't spawn and sometimes they do. And at least those last frogs always jump on that same spot, maybe original or this remaster, as I kind of understood.
You know what's really dumb is that despite them jumping into the same spot, I've gotten into encounters with them before because I was just on bad runs. And I was like, look at me, I can run faster than them, and that's never the case. So don't do that. If you ever run this game, don't do what I did. Don't try and speed through them because it's not going to work out.
A lot of enemies just really faster than you at the end.
Oh, they always will be.
Yeah, this fight you basically want Justin. He most likely gonna die. Also, I have all jackbook set up here. I usually kill this guy only with jackbooks.
That is the strat.
No,
Does a really massive amount of damage each time. What was it? This boss has 2,000 health, right? Yeah, I think it has 2,000. Oh, I said 1,985. Close enough. So if you do 200 damage, you have to use 10 zap books.
That was a mistake. Change the move. And Justin is dead. Well, maybe.
That's an oof. Also, that attack there, where he eats you up and spits you back out, that's probably the most dangerous move in this fight, or the electrical move, but we haven't seen him do that yet. But that's the most dangerous.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. The spew is slower move, but the electric move is faster, which does more damage. It's like,
A lot more damage, actually.
On here, it's like, 10 more damage, which means like, how many? Well, 20% at least. Also, we can see here as when Justice is dead, that happens. It slows down the boss a lot. It's
Yep, and we're never gonna revive Justin at all. It's
gonna be dangerous, but oh no, it was using the spear, I think. Yeah, it's about 50 damage on shock and 30 on that. They're probably only like a couple times revived by level 40. The small numbers show makes difference. Oh yeah, now it comes really dangerous. I probably should do a lot more damage on main party first. Oh no. It's good enough yet. I don't want to kill the entice yet. Because if the main party only gets the, well, he comes a lot quicker on that point, for sure.
Oh, power of ice!
Even this is slower, but it kind of safer at the end. How much? I think not 100% sure, but Veena doesn't die exactly on next move anyway. Oh, it didn't kill. That gives me victory, basically.
Oh, power of ice!
Yeah, I could have a chance to revive Justin if I wanted, though. But
That was pretty.
one of the only fights that Justin is totally pointless. Well, can slow down. Holding up for some time.
Yeah, that's kind of the unfortunate thing about that fight. Justin's dead, and he doesn't get any experience unless you level him up. Or not level him up, revive him on the last turn you're about to kill him, which at that point it's a waste because there's a chance he's just gonna die again anyway when you revive him. It's useless. And plus you'll gain so much more experience anyway.
I'd say show a more enemy dodging that ending, could say. Well, close to the end. It's basically before the... Usually I can get killed by these enemies. Get ambushed. But I...
Yes. We call this... Oh god, this area is horrible. I feel like Joel has a really good sense of humor because he's taking me to the areas that haunted me when I speedran this game.
Sometimes it's better to kill these guys.
Giving us the truncated speedrun experience boiled down to 2 hours.
Exactly. And yeah, these worms give some pretty good experience anyway, so it's not necessarily a bad thing if you get into them, but it's still not something you want.
Also, I feel like the remaster version increased the chance to get the chevers out of this. When I practiced this game, I got caught by a few of those worms, and I got 2 chevers out of them.
I used to play a game with my chat. At this part, I was like, "Hey, chat, can you predict how many encounters I'm going to get here?" And at times when I didn't do this all the time, because obviously it was very rare I ever got to this part, but I said to them, whoever's the closest, I give you a gift sub. And I obviously I didn't do it much because I never got to this part.
Yeah, I feel you.
A lot. It's just hilarious.
This game is a pretty brutal one that kind of, it takes a certain amount of mindset to come into this because you're going to get bullied pretty hard by this game.
I forgot this cuts in the middle of here.
We're not done yet. We're not done with this part.
This cutscene at least is not the longest one. Show.
Well, it's a good example of like why this run is so long, because it's an old game with standard cutscenes, and there's really no way to speed it up. Can you mash or hold to skip dialogue in this?
There's some dialogue you can. You can mash. Well, I mean, everyone's controller is different, but you can mash. For example, I have a PlayStation 5 controller. I just mash like the X and O.
Oh, you can alternate. That's not too.
Yeah,
bad.
you can alternate through, and sometimes the text does go faster than others, but at times a lot of it is not the case. Which,
Man,
as long as it's 90s RPGs, so
most of the time you get stuck with a single button, and it'll only take the inputs from one of them. So, like having 2 buttons is a massive improvement.
Oh, exactly.
Honestly,
yeah, for sure. And like, another game with a lot of really long cutscenes in them is Xenogears.
Oh, yeah.
That is, for those who don't know, you might, and there's people out there who legit probably do not know, but the reason that game is really long is because there's so many long cutscenes in them that are unskippable. And it's takes a really long time, and the difference between the English and the Japanese versions is actually hugely substantial because the Japanese version saves 3 hours in text alone. Ridiculous.
Meanwhile, I ran like Mega Man X3, where it's like, oh, we got 45 seconds out of Japanese dialogue.
It's technically like 2 hours and 52 minutes, but I just round up to 3 hours because why not? It's basically 3 hours.
Yeah, pretty much.
Of text.
Yeah, and this is the real Grandia experience, trying to bait enemies or wait for them to move out of the way, and you're just like, all right, well, play along.
Yeah. The thing I like about Grandia 3 is that you can attack enemies out in the wild, and you can stun them, and you just walk around them. Grandia 3 has that very nice luxury of doing that.
You don't really realize how nice it is to initiate counters on your... go ahead.
Also can show the voice acting here. Let's see.
Sounds good.
It's this shortly.
Still no good. You still can't get a hold of Lean.
Yeah, this also makes things slower.
Marlon, what in the world is happening? Where is Lean?
Justin? Why is Feeding here? Lean couldn't have gone on alone. No, it can't be!
I just wanted to... I always like to try to kind of like act in on this part. Just, I mean, I don't mind the voice acting really much. I kind of like it.
It gives its charm. Like
Yeah.
back in the late 90s and early 2000s, you used to have all this very cheesy voice acting, and
Return immediately.
it was always really nice to have voice acting like this compared to today, where voice acting is like a lot more serious, which professional. But then again, I can't blame these studios that hire these actors. I've met a few voice actors in my lifetime, and the most thing I see is that they always try and look for work. Looking for work is the hardest thing about them, because they're always just constantly auditioning and looking for new roles, and basically it's everyone is just saying, like, I even asked one of them, hey, why is acting much more professional than 90s acting? Well, they all say it's because of, well, money. That's literally it.
So the one remaster just stress these pictures. It is kind of funny. They just flatten there. Also, the soldiers that talk here talks on Japanese, what I hear at least, on the background on a couple times, which is kind of funny as well.
I didn't know that.
Original as well. At least some words that I know about Japanese I hear.
Yeah, weeabooanese, as they say. I watch anime. I know what it means.
Yeah, basically. But it's not at least English, but or random gibberish can be also possible.
I mean, yeah, this is less professional, but it's very endearing, because like there's obviously some level of like effort put into it where they're trying to actually convey emotions. So anything that can make money always yields a more professional atmosphere, but there's this kind of early voice acting has something to it that kind of a soul, if you will.
I could say probably only game that has one professional voice actor was on Grandia Extreme that had Mark Hamill, the voice act one character. But I can say he was probably worse than these voice actors.
Mark Hamill does a lot of stuff. He also voices the Joker in the various Batman animations.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mark Hamill is amazing.
And for those who don't know, there's some people out there who don't really know. Mark Hamill is the actor that played Luke Skywalker in Star Wars.
Yep. It's kind of funny. Like, you can play. There's a game called like 6 Degrees, and it's usually often done with like Kevin Bacon. So you try and connect an actor to a different actor by like 6 different films, because like Kevin Bacon's been in so many, but it's always interesting to do something with characters like that. Okay, well, we start with Mark Hamill. How do we connect to something else? It's a really interesting game.
Also, the random thing, I think the remaster also made all the voice effects and so on so much louder than they were on the original version.
One thing I'm glad is they didn't like redub it. Honestly, that could have been.
At least they kind of could say they improved these cutscenes over.
I was looking at our stream, and how crisp this looks compared to the original PlayStation version is fantastic. They did a good job with like making it look better without really affecting the quality of the original. Especially since these are like pre-rendered cutscenes, so they like 480i at best, and they're squished to all heck and back. Having these like actually look decent is hard to do. Although I do love the blurs on the side, because it was in 4:3.
Yeah, and it's 60 FPS. It looks so crisp, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can see it. I think originally it was kind of hard to see even lean that clearly, at least on the far away. But here it's just you can see the teethers.
The FMVs in this game are really good. I wish we had FMVs like this, but then again, technology advances, so
yeah,
I guess we can't stick too far in the past, can we?
Yeah, you gotta hit that. Go ahead, Jules. Sorry.
These cutscenes are some reason I get kind of like studio Ghibli feeling of overall the art style what they used. With many of those cutscenes, where there aren't many of them, but at least it's really good quality at the end. It's just something to love about this game for sure. That I think no other Grandia game basically used. Grandia 2.
Well, Grandia 2 did a little bit.
A little bit. Grandia 3 didn't use it. It used the in-game, basically.
It used in-game graphics, yeah.
Even though they look bad, of course, especially with PS2.
Yeah, it's kind of wild that these aged as well as they did, even with upscaling. Because a lot of times it just turns into a complete muddy mess, but it didn't look like that to me.
But yeah, I could skip the next part.
Sounds good.
The people who honestly have complained about the quality of this remaster are, I call them professional nitpickers.
Yeah.
And what I mean is that all they do is just look at a game and just judge based on like 3 pixels. And then they just don't buy it. It's stupid.
I think a really good example is like people that like pick those specific smear frames in like Naruto and like, oh, look how bad it is. And it's like, dude, you picked an in-between frame that's to help convey action. It's gonna look like that.
I think they're mostly just annoyed as they use the PS1 mostly.
Yeah.
Or they meant the Sega Saturn kind of looked better on a few ways, but it was mostly on the start of the game.
Yeah.
And some stuff was just different. It wasn't exactly better looking, it was just different. But yeah, of course, you could like to see more of that, but I mean, yeah, it's just small, really just small details at the end. But yeah,
I think those are also the same people that they also complained that they didn't get the Saturn version, because for those who don't know, the Saturn version, the general consensus that the Saturn version looks graphically better than the PlayStation 1 version, but I don't really mind it. But you're probably wondering, well, why don't we run the Sega Saturn version? It's extremely slow, very, very slow. The loading times are really long.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was a Saturn version until you mentioned it just now, but that does come up a lot where like the Saturn version takes forever to load. I think like Soten has the same issue and a few other games.
Mentioning about this game.
The Sega Saturn version was a Japanese exclusive.
Oh, that's another problem. Language barrier.
Yeah, I have a different setup for this fight than usually. I make the just slow as possible because some reason it makes every. But tracker down on the Discord on the community say at least showing that Justin has kind of like different setup, the action, the IP setup than any other character, enemy, or anything. As you make Justin slower, you make everything else going faster. And
it's always interesting to break the mold like that.
And here I see when Fina dies on the fight, when she has like way lower action speed, like 177 and 187 on these.
I love how some of them actually have a written effect, and then some of the other ones just have random dialogue thrown in there. Has 1 star. Okay, thanks, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Old school like weapon descriptions are some of the funniest.
I don't know if you ever played Borderlands 2.
Oh yeah,
Did, but the weapon descriptions in that game are also really funny.
I've speedrun that before. I never streamed that, but like Borderlands 2, that game's a trip as well.
Also, this fight can take many tries, for sure.
This fight I've seen so many resets on. I've memorized this area, and I haven't played this game in like 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, it's that spot. Well.
It's kind of funny, as current best time that I have on Origin, I had the best time with this fight exactly.
If you play this game casually, this fight is basically nothing. It's just so easy casually, but in a speedrun, because you're just so
Underleveled.
Underlevel, that it's a matter of, okay, is my run gonna die here? Is it going to? Am I gonna complete a run? Because this fight basically tells it all.
Yeah, this is starting to get towards the end of the game, so we kind of you have to buff a lot here, but it also means you're at the risk of just getting one shot, or functionally one shot. Ball is a dangerous boss, and it doesn't get any easier from here.
Yeah, the Kaya Fang is the one that you want to avoid, which this tentacle can do. All means, because it stuns anyone that it hits for like ages. It feels forever.
Stun is such a scary move in most games, especially since a lot of them don't have any way to heal out of it.
I want to attack that before
it
hit wrap, but again, if your character is behind someone else, it always takes forever them to go around.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about earlier, where like we're trying to cancel attacks, but it also is at the mercy of the AI.
Here comes the funny part. Everything else.
Funny part, peppy, laugh. Yeah.
Justin is on the sleep, which everyone is getting really speed boost. But I have to watch this guy.
Man, maybe I'm just a big dingus, but I love like meteor spells, like this Comet from like 7. I love those type of spells, good or bad. I love them.
But the problem is, Raph was stunned when he, this healing is also the worst thing. He is like 800, or was it?
Oh yeah,
700.
Meteor.
That's always. It's always been like really cool. Because like when you use meteor spells and whatnot, it feels like you're just calling the gods down.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Yeah, so it's rough having Rap get stunned here, because if you noticed earlier, we threw a couple of power shrooms on him, so he actually has reasonable attack. Now he doesn't anymore. Buffs, you don't get those.
I wasted the best possibility to attack because the Rap was stunned.
255 Mad, yeah. Honestly, like with Rebirth, they added Comet back in, and the way that it strikes, I was like, oh, this is not going to be good. Luckily, it gets used a little bit in the hard run, so I got what I wanted. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know.
It's definitely a game I've been wanting to check out, but I haven't even beat Remake. I haven't beat it yet. I got like about 75% of the way through it. I just never completed it. I don't know why.
I feel I bounce off things too, where I'll get a little bit into it, or I'll get like 2/3 of the way through, and then I'll just kind of like get ADHD and go somewhere else.
It's pretty much been my thing as well.
I mean, it doesn't help when there's a lot of stuff to do in life.
Oh no.
No, especially because I have an apartment now. I mean,
So yeah, this is basically what ball boils down to. I'm just gonna turn my eyes away and act like this isn't bad RNG and hope it gets better.
Of course, nobody could cancel this move. I can see the
Yeah, this is why I said I memorized this roam, because this is where bosses start to get like absolutely brutal to the point where like you actually need good RNG and some good placement and execution. Because even if you have good execution, if that, like Jewel mentioned, if the characters are in the wrong spot, you just won't get your attack out in time to cancel, and you kind of get stuck in a pattern like this where ball's pretty much just uninterruptible.
This didn't die right away. This vanishes also. Well, it can be good, but at the same time, also this poison makes things harder as well.
It's funny when you look at it, like in a casual run, these bosses are like not really that bad. The only time they really end up being bad casually is if you've been like neglecting using magic to get the combined spells and neglecting to like weapon level. Because the one thing is you get extra special abilities for the weapons, but every character I think has like 3 or 4 different weapons they can equip. And depending on the level of those combination of weapons, you'll get access to much stronger weapon attacks. Like between maces, swords, and axes, I think are Justin's 3. And getting those to a certain level will give you access to much, much stronger weapon skills rather than like V-Slash that you get at the very beginning for free, more or less.
Justin can be well, if you grind Justin sometime, he's basically a card on that point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I remember grinding in the final dungeon to get him his last couple of skills, because he picks up... Him and Gadwin get some really wild skills once you get him all the way up. But Gadwin gets him a bit sooner because he leaves the party earlier.
Also, I have seen this guy healing like sometimes even 5 times per on match. It means like 3,500 healing.
You're like in this weird spot. You're like, do I want to see him heal or do I want to see him kill everybody? I kind of hate both.
Vanish is also the worst too, because it resets everyone's
buffing
buffing to 0. It also I don't know if anyone else knew this or not, but even negative status effects, it also resets back to 0. So in some cases it can be good, but a lot of cases, no, it's not good.
Okay, yeah. There are some debuffs like that like remove status ailments across the board, and it's like, oh cool, you undid my debuffs. Thanks, buddy. But it requires the boss to actually debuff you.
He's just not really behaving
this
well.
This is really bad thing. Yeah, this is basically already lost Overa.
Yeah, this is...
He came back half of his health. It's just... Hey, welcome to pretty much the second last barrier in this run where...
the true Grandia experience.
Yeah, I lost so many runs here before, and I did do some rerunning that helps just a little bit. There's this item you pick up in... what's the name of the castle again? I forget. Castle of Dreams, I think.
Oh yeah, the bonus dungeon.
Yeah, that bonus dungeon. There's an item in there called a gauntlet, and you pick it up for Justin, and he does a significant amount more damage with it. And in previous rounds that was not in there, but I thought why not? Let's just go pick it up. And it helped me. it would definitely save a lot of time if you didn't pick it up, because you have to go to a basement and go through a couple encounters to get it. So it definitely would save time to skip it, but it would definitely make your run a lot more difficult. But I'm sure at this point, Jewel is like, he just doesn't really care about necessarily difficulty. He just cares about lowering his time more.
Yeah. It's the rub of a speed run, right? Where you've got to give up sanity for speed.
Okay, I'm dead.
Gay.
Yeah. This is normally where like part of the reason why we're doing a showcase, because this is how this goes. Unfortunately, speedruns spiral super fast. Unfortunately.
I think he missed. Yep.
There we go.
Some reason he also had higher chance to just randomly miss when the character is upwards. Probably just because the tentacle is so huge, probably. I have a feeling like. Even this is still, of course.
All this, and we've only gotten through half of this HP. This is rude.
It's even in my PB, it's the entirety of my disc 2 was a disaster. I even had a death in my previous world record, which is just, and how I even world record with it at all is amazing to me. But the world record I was going for at the time technically did have a death. And what I mean by a death is he froze and lost like 12 minutes or something like that. It was so figured it was fair game. And I don't know if we talked about the console versions to this yet. I mean, we talked about the Sega Saturn version. Like, we briefly brought up how no one runs it. However, there is actually a run on the leaderboard where a Japanese runner has run it. So props to him for spearrunning this game on such a slow version. But the console version to this game, I used to speedrun on PlayStation TV, which, for those who are unaware, PlayStation TV, I wish I had it with me. I don't know where it's at, but
I have it somewhere in the bottom of my thing. But since I don't have a camera, it's a small little box, kind of like the size of a retro tank or whatever. But it's basically just a PSP shoved into a little box.
It's actually a PS
Vita. It's a Vita, yeah, which is the next generation. But you can access the PlayStation Network, and Grandia is one of those games. I used to use it for Mega Man X Maverick Hunter, but there's a surprising amount of games you can play on that. The only annoying part is it has that stupid weird copy protection, so you have to like put it through a HDMI switcher so that it gets captured properly.
Yeah, it's using Sony's own proprietary I think it's HDCP, I believe.
HDCP,
and you need HDMI for capture cards to work. And the reason that Sony does that is, again, it's copy protection. But of course, the world finds ways around stuff.
I don't know why they included it on the PS TV. I think the TV is like technically dead out of the box. You'd have to like mod it in some way, which, you know, is a thing that you can do, but I'm not really gonna say anything more than that. But it was mainly for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, because they didn't want people ripping Blu-rays, which makes it very weird that they put it on like the PS TV and the PSP when you plugged it into stuff, because it's like, this doesn't have a Blu-ray drive.
Yeah, it doesn't have a disc. It doesn't have a disc drive. Period. Yep. My guess is that they probably, because you could stream movies and TV shows, because you could download movies and TV shows on PlayStation TV. I think it was mainly for that, but I mean, if they were going to have a workaround around that, I mean, Why didn't they just block HDMI to begin with? Actually, let's not even give Sony ideas, okay? Let's not give them ideas.
The logic doesn't always make sense. Corporations just make decisions, pretty much. Yeah, it's an interesting little trinket if you want to like run certain PlayStation games. It'll run faster because it's running it digitally versus off a disk drive. Because one of the killer parts with disk drive games is sometimes they tend to soft lock. And it's because like on the PlayStation 2, which is a lot of people run PlayStation games on, they have the fast disk speed. But there are certain games that have a very high chance of locking up or just not finishing a load on fast disk speed. So I think like Mega Man X5 has that issue. And I know it's not the only one. It's just one of the most common ones that I know of. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that this game locks up on fast disk speed. Especially with how many times this game loads, it sounds like a nightmare.
So it does. So the thing about running this game on PlayStation 2 is, first of all, it's a total nightmare. Do not ever run this game on PlayStation 2, like ever. Secondly, it freezes because, it freezes whether or not you have fastest speed on. If you have normal speed on, you have fastest speed on, it doesn't matter. It freezes up anyway.
Interesting.
The reason, the main conclusion for the reason of why this game randomly freezes on PlayStation 2 systems, it doesn't matter what PlayStation 2 system is. It doesn't matter if it's a fat, it doesn't matter if it's a slim. It's because that we basically concluded that it's because it's a sound problem, not necessarily a load problem. The sound problem, we're even then, we're not really completely sure why it's because specifically of the sound, but our conclusion is because it's just bad PlayStation 2 emulation. That's basically it. It's bad. It's very, very bad. There's actually some PlayStation 1 games that do have problems on PlayStation 2. I think there's a racing game, a PlayStation 1 racing game that also has problems. I can't remember what problem that is. But there's also even some PlayStation 2 games that have problems on certain models. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Jack X Combat Racing, classic game. There's actually some certain models of the PlayStation 2 where it'll just continuously save the game. Like it'll never go away. Like the save icon on the right side of the screen, it'll never go away at all. And you're probably thinking, well, 30, you're gonna have to turn the PlayStation 2 off. Well, that's the main issue with that is when you turn the PlayStation 2 off, you get corrupted data like permanently. You can't even delete the corrupted data off the memory card. It's awful.
So we just try to avoid as much as possible, but of course, always does that.
But yeah, it's just an example of that PlayStation 2 is a wild console.
Yeah, it's that's one of the issues with like running older games like this is availability, how to run it, what's the most consistent way. Luckily, we have the PC version now, which obviously looks much better. And there's some other things that we'll be able to showcase that the PC version enables that will allow us to skip some of the most obnoxious final bosses that I've ever seen in a speedrun. But we'll get there when we get there. The fact that the PC enables some of these endgame skips actually makes this run a lot more reasonable. And this guy is an unreasonable fight, but now he's one of the few unreasonable fights.
Oh yeah, it's
the most. I think this is the one of the most unreasonable.
Yeah, Ball is really rough.
We haven't shown the glitches yet, have we?
Nope, we haven't gotten that far.
Oh, cool. Okay.
We did a little bit of Kung Fu Man. I think we did Boomerang Confused Lock, and then we did something before that, and we did Gadwin right before you joined.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's what y'all are gonna see later on. It's gonna be really fun, but I'm not gonna spoil it.
Yeah, I was watching the run before that stuff happened, and it was really soul crushing to watch the end game kill so many decent runs, and now it's a lot more reasonable. That's the short story. Ooh, it looks like we almost
really
got through ball too. Nice.
Yay! Finally.
Yeah, but this is kind of how this game goes.
It's really close.
Feast or famine.
Yeah, it's. Oh man, like
Nice.
my first run of this.
I missed it.
I spent so long on this boss on my first run ever, and just for comparison, my first run ever of this game was like 16 hours long. So.
Yeah, how about same?
Hey, we got to start somewhere, right?
I feel you guys. Like when I was picking up Remake and Rebirth, my first couple of runs were like 2 hours longer. I can't imagine for a game that's like 8. I think it was like 8 hours for a 6-hour run. The first couple of runs are usually pretty brutal.
That's usually how speedrun goes.
It just go ahead.
For me, the best voice actor is basically the ball and the
Oh
Guido.
yeah.
Now, we were talking about the voice actors earlier, and I couldn't really find much information on what happened to these voice actors after they did their work. They just kind of been, I don't know, living their life, I guess.
I think like isn't the rumor that like it was just people at the office that voice acted this rather than like pseudo professionals?
I think so. I think I remember reading somewhere. Like I saw a video of Justin's voice actor on YouTube some years ago. I don't remember where that video is, but like he I think it was just like more of a skit video, I believe. If I found that video, I will I'll let y'all know about that, but yeah.
There's no information about who is the Justin voice actor on the English part.
But the Japanese voice actors, of course, they're gonna get so much credit because I think in Japan it's very important that everyone gets their own credit.
Oh yeah, I forgot that this is really loud one.
Yeah, this game kind of goes from like no audio whatsoever to deafeningly loud very quick.
Oh, that reminds me of a part in I speedrun KOTOR 2, and there is one part where that does happen. At one moment, it's so quiet, and then the next moment,
yeah. Remaking. Go ahead.
The remaster also made those cutscenes a lot louder than originally.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the Grandia 2 road that makes almost the voice effects and so a lot louder. When the original, you didn't even hear some of them. It's kind of interesting. But I could probably show the last boss as.
Oh, we'll give them a taste of what's to come.
Also, there's some reason when you save on this point, you can always hear that sound, or like the boss dies. Or something like that. It's kind of odd. But also you have to always go around there because this elevator doesn't work.
I wonder why that sound always plays. Have we figured out why that sound plays at all?
Honestly, I would imagine that might have something to do with why the chicanery here works, but who knows? This boss is the most cursed, inconceivably hard, unreasonably BS I have ever. I want to use words that are not PG, but we are a PG channel, so I will not.
Also, you have to kill the pineapple, as we say always. the kayakist first. Also, this kayakist is magic doesn't hit at all. You have to use the physical moves only. As Liet is kind of pointless. Well, mostly.
Can you all imagine if the very, 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 very small possibility they remake this game in, say, FF7 remake style? I think this boss would look like. I think this would look like a Dark Souls boss.
Yeah, it would be like Genova, except somehow more terrifying.
Genova more terrifying. That would be.
Yeah.
Also, it's kind of funny. This Perflay is probably the worst move that this part can do. Even it's not the strongest one, but it slows down everyone and does damage. It's boy. But the death ray of the pineapple is of course the worst move what can do, but you usually try to slow pineapple head anyway, but you can't slow much down there.
This is honestly one of the reasons I love this game and wish I could get an excuse to play it more often. But like it tells you what the enemy's moves are, and if you have some level of knowledge about it, you can be like, okay, I do not want that to go out because it's going to make this impossible. So not only do you have your magic that has AoE, you have a lot of like interaction between different weapon levels as well to learn new skills. You have the active time battle system at the bottom, which is also part of like a physical relation as well when you're combat. And then the individual action commands. This is probably one of the more deep combat systems in one of the older RPGs. Just definitely what makes it like a hidden gem in my opinion, for sure. Oh my beam.
At least he didn't use the third move in a row.
It's just 50 damage. Don't worry about it. Everybody's half dead.
Yeah, it can kill everyone with instant, for sure. Yeah, I can. Who's targeting?
You're not gonna get away from this.
And the funny part is like we're kind of talking up how this boss can be a little bit of a pain. The problem is that this is actually a 2-phase fight. We have this and then one more form after. So it may look like it's going pretty well, but the problem is the second phase is just as hard, if not harder. And it's really rough coming off the back of this fight too, because you kind of need to set up going into it. One of the other things too is like you buy a ton of crimson potions and power-up shrooms, and luckily there's a storage system in this game next to pretty much every save point.
Slow down.
So you just max out on them and then put them in the storage bin and pull them out as you need them for the fights.
I could say this is a dangerous move, but I want to try to slow down everyone. Every part.
Something kind of like that. Honestly, like I'm somewhat familiar with Grandia. Most of it is like casual osmosis and kind of understanding it.
Now it's gonna hurt a lot, but I hope I'm gonna survive. Well, if anyhow Rap gets the turn.
Hey, that's cheating. You're not allowed to heal. I'm the only one allowed to heal.
That's that also makes everything so much slower. But I could make it first. Can she make it first? Yes.
Here we go.
Man, the chain stuns are super cool to watch. I love the canceling system. Until it happens to me, and then I don't like it anymore.
At least Grandia 2 and Grandia 3 made that almost every cancel works. Grandia 3 at least made that every cancel that you try to do always works. Have to. It was a little too quick there. If Fina could be just a little bit slower, it could just cancel away that move.
The cool part is that like most of the run is setting up for this, making sure you have the proper weapon skills and spells so that you can actually get through this fight without getting murdered. Or at least it used to be.
I think cancel. Do that. If she can make it. Oh, well. Always. Nothing is gonna make it. I was very close to kill Pineapple pretty early. Ow.
That's the real interesting part about this speedrun wise is like knowing the interactions and knowing when to like go all out for something or go defensive. The active combat system is pretty complex. That is the one that always gets unfortunate. That kind of stuff right there where you get everybody kind of gets hit, put in stun lock, and you're like, okay, can I please have my turn? I'm dying here.
Good Fina. Fina's useful.
Oh yeah, let's go.
At least
Dance.
the Fina's the pretty guys really quick. That's the most best thing about. Even the current setup makes Justin Boyd be the weakest one, but he probably can make it. Sadly, no miss. Let's. Yeah, I knew that's gonna happen, but I should just defend. But
yeah, but you saw how like clean a lot of this fight went, and then this is what the end of runs used to be. They go really good, and then you'd casino at this point. You're like, "Yay! I'm having fun! Can't you tell I'm having fun?" Meanwhile, the boss is like one hit away, and you just got to get the move out.
this is why you're not gonna cancel the move again. Yep. Good choice. Choice ultimate power. Surprising it's not healing at all.
Wow.
It's kind of hard to think what to do exactly right now.
There we go.
Probably should not use that move, but let's see what happens anyway.
Gotta try something.
Here goes.
Oh, it did cancel. I didn't expect. Could kill. I could just kill that one, but if it will not hit wrap there.
Man, just instant transmissioned over to Rap and slapped him in the face.
I know. Basically dead.
I'll remember this.
Yeah, this is
That's not good.
this is why we chose a showcase over a full run, because unfortunately, Grandia just has a habit of doing this. You have a really solid fight, and then just one puzzle piece falls out, and then you get stun locked by the final boss.
Yeah.
I did
Practice.
do
Restart.
some might be some older how do I phrase this? I don't want to sound like I don't
Routing?
know. I don't want yeah. Well, yeah. No. For those who've been here a while, okay, there we go. For those who've been here a while, I mean, I did do 2 Grandia marathons. I think it was back in 2018 and 19, and I ran this game twice, and I actually had the final boss was probably the most clutch fight I think I've ever had. I ran out of resurrect potions on the last boss fight, and so I was just constantly switching and healing between Rap and Justin the whole time. Basically the 2 party members that you need that do the most damage, and I think it was Grandia Marathon 2019. If you go to the last boss, Gaia Core, if y'all ever look that run up, that was clutch. It was just I can't believe I survived that still.
Yeah, there was some point where I was like, I wonder if anybody actually runs Grandia, and I think I ran across those marathons initially. That's what let me get in, find the community a little bit easier. But this is like a really rude game to do in a marathon or some sort of relay, because it's either everything's done in the first try, or you got to fight the final boss like 3 times.
And another thing too is in 2019, I actually ran Grandia 1 and 3 back to back because I was actually only going to commentate for Grandia 3, but unfortunately the runner he lives in Japan. He had his internet cut out the week that he was supposed to run. He had no internet, and I had to run Grandia 1 and 3, and I was just dead tired after
Salutations, sir. Salutations. That sounds like a criminal offense, honestly. I think that could be considered a war crime in some places.
I'm never doing that again, by the way. No, I'm not doing that ever again in my lifetime.
I decided to start learning a hard mode Rebirth for this year's limit break, and I only really had time during the submissions window. So I learned the game in like 2 weeks. I will never learn a run that fast ever again. Oh my god! There's the things we do for the games we love might even make us hate them.
Oh my god, yeah.
There comes the 2 strongest moves, but can't really do anything against those.
Yeah, it's interesting that you do have some level of agency in these fights, but depending on how your turns shake out, you may not be able to do anything other than just watch it happen. Kind of unfortunate.
I can do one thing, just to weaken the main part. That's
one of the cool things is like this character comes with a ton of magic, so we don't have to bother like leveling up all the different spells. She has a pretty wide range of spells because she's like the end game mage that you pick up. Liete is really good.
Only 1 damage on Justin. It is.
You're not gonna get away from this.
Sure, Stram is really useful. Just weaken the main part that whatever the clan attack that he can uses sounds basically next to useless. Yeah. I did one practice or couple practice run of this fight. I got one that this pineapple white kayak just could not do even one move. I killed it before that happened.
Yeah, sometimes the dogs do that, sorry.
Yeah, it's just sometimes it goes well, sometimes just everything goes bad, and that's the Grandia.
After having like not had to mess with this fight for so long, are you like is it really like setting in how nice it is that you don't have to deal with this fight normally?
Yeah, it feels kind of nice when I can skip this whole thing for sure. It's like,
yeah, I've had like a few. Go ahead. Sorry.
Same time, sometimes it feels like dual ending when you can skip all of it at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, well, I don't know. I don't feel like I earned the ending, but then you actually like go do the fight again, and you're like, you know what? I think I earned my ending.
Oh, Forest, protect
But yeah, if I can't beat this guy on this time, I'm probably gonna just show the glitch then afterwards. Now I strapped it twice and it almost did 0 damage. -4. And I want to at least cancel works on this guy a lot better. Again, there's not much things to do.
Yeah, this is one of those fights where like you're kind of between rock and a hard place, and you may have the knowledge to do stuff, but sometimes the game just doesn't really give you the opportunity because of ordering of the characters.
Again, being close to kill this pineapple.
This is probably like the only frustrating part is like you can't like delay your turn. The best thing you can do is like defend, and then you get some of your charge back quicker, and that's about it. Be nice if you could be like, all right, hold on.
Grandia 3 made it also better.
Yeah. I honestly, like, for the first implementation of this system, it's still really cool. But it does have flaws, like a lot of first releases of games. Oh no.
At least it makes now Rap is full powered again. No any more stram on Rap as well.
You want to remove your debuffs? Thanks.
Even it makes him also stronger, but anyway.
Yeah. Because we have been like throwing in some debuffs. I think that's what Stram is. It's one of those good old RPG things where things are just named like really weird stuff, and you're like, cool.
Here goes.
At least it's not dead because we can. Okay, it's dead after this.
To be honest, 2 tries is not that bad.
I hope it. Well, sometimes when you attack on same frame, it cancels this other move, but that was only Stram, which wasn't exactly attack. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but this is one of those like multi-part final boss fights where it's like just getting rid of one limb is a massive boon because it just limits the amount of turns you have to deal with. And as you may have seen, like in the failed attempt, you kind of get stun locked pretty easily, but getting just one limb down will make it a lot easier to avoid getting that chain stun lock. Plus, it also like limits the DPS, so you don't get bursted down quite as easily. Gotta say though, like casually, I didn't really fall in love with Rap's character because he's such a snarky guy, but man, he does some heavy lifting in the speedrun, that's for sure.
Yep, the missile is already maxed out in the start, which is sure fastest, and he is the fastest character on the start anyway.
I mean, the other bonus too is that he's got the ranged attack, so he doesn't have to walk in to hit stuff. So like he's unironically extremely powerful because of that. That's why magic is so good too, because you don't have to worry too much about distance. You just have to be reasonably close.
It's just the thing in general about magic and really any RPG. Well, some of them anyway. I mean, you know, like Grandia and I guess you could say some Western RPGs are like that as well.
Yeah, magic is one of those things. It's either like usually useless or really powerful. I think this game kind of threads the needle because you have to like learn the in independent elements and then use them over and over again to get access to the stronger spells. You don't just get them for free. I mean, outside of Viete, but you know,
right.
It's a very deep like leveling system that goes beyond just I killed things and got more EXP. In Remake and Rebirth, magic is incredibly potent. They gave way too much like ways to buff magic. In 7, I believe it's mainly physical, because Tifa has was like Premium Heart or something like that like does damage based on whether she's in critical or she's in death count, some other statuses. So she gets like a ×8 damage multiplier, and even at like garbage levels, she hits really hard. But that's kind of like the duality of it. It's either like meh or it hits like a truck. Yeah, 6 has the rods, which buff the individual elements. And then you have things like Morph that straight up double your magic. It gets out of hand real quick. The magic from the Espers is cool. Go ahead, sorry.
I was hoping to cancel with the chat, but no. Didn't happen, but well. At least this guy here sleeps less than many others. But everything slows down, of course.
Do appreciate how it's like not really too impossible to get a critical mass of good healing items and revival items and stuff. Because there's a lot of games where like obtaining good items like this is like, well, you get like 1 or 2 and that's it.
Plus, it doesn't heal every turn. Usually, this guy heals basically all the time when being damaged pretty much.
Yeah, bosses healing is like one of those weird things. It's like, well, I get a free turn, but also it makes this take longer, so I don't think I like it.
Oh, explosive power, come here.
Even this move is probably one of the strongest ones, but it's so slow.
Yeah, that's always like one of the weird optimizations that you have to make as a runner. You have to like, okay, well, this does good DPS and it gets me through the fight, but then sometimes you have to be like, I can't use this though because it costs like 15 seconds. So it's like, assuming you could get a hold of Knights of the Round, it's like 1.5 minutes per cast or something like that. So it's like, I mean, yeah, it kills things, but also it's like 3 minutes a pop.
Just in time.
Good to see the second fight has gone fairly well compared to the first. This is a good showcase of like kind of how these fights go, which is why running it can be so brutal. And why I say like playing it casually is worth it. If you haven't, this is definitely a fun game and you'll get a lot out of it.
Oh, I definitely think it has been. I think Joel's been doing a very good job showing it.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. A skilled runner of this game can make it look a lot easier than it actually is. This game is absolutely brutal.
He's been running it longer than me. I stopped running this game in like around 2019 or so because life happened.
I mean, and also this one seems like a pretty rough sanity check that'll drive you up a wall real fast. So Oh no, my defense.
I remember when sub 1230 was I thought was a pretty decent time, but now Jewel and forgot their other name, but there's another runner that holds the world record right now. I don't remember. Let me look it up. Miso Siru. That's his name. If I'm even pronouncing his name correctly, which I'm probably not.
It's good enough to at least look it up, though. Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, thunderclap in the darkness, come here.
It should be Dead Boy after these couple turns. Yeah. First part.
Yeah. I definitely agree. The RNG in this game is pretty brutal. And the fact that it's like so sporadic, where it's like you go through phases of like massive RNG dependence, and then you go for like a couple hours without having to care about it again. And then you hit a spot that can like lose you an hour, and you're just like, why?
Usually this next part is often the harder one, but it sure depends more on RNG than anything else.
Yeah, it's when you watch a run of this that's like actually, a completed PB, you don't really realize how bad this fight is. This fight is one of those you have to see somebody like running it live to really understand why it is so awful. And the worst part here too is like we don't get a save in between. You're just like, nope, get over there, fight the final boss. Can I save, please? That last one was pretty hard. No. And then you also like you have to heal in between too. Very rude.
At least it only gives few items to heal on here, but I usually stash everything just to be sure that everyone has everything that I want. Yeah, also just keep the gold.
Yeah, so
I need to, yeah.
At the very least, they give us the stash here, like, which is better than nothing. So you end up buying a lot of items around the middle, and at this point, you can actually like get the things you stashed. So you arrange your items for specifically the previous fight, and then you empty everything out and reset again. Because we're going to be using a lot of like SP skills, so we need the gold potions so that we can spam, missile and Justin's attacks as well. Because we have two different, I guess.
So
go ahead.
These revivals are pretty much the most important here. Just if Rep dies, revival just revives him right away, and he just can. Also, the buffs that he has also keeps after the revival is gone, which is really nice. Really nice feature.
So, like, you have. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you have like your HP, you have MP and SP, or is it just SP in this game?
Yeah, the magic is level 1 magic and level 2 and level 3 magic. Everything has different values.
Okay, yeah. So it's kind of like Final Fantasy 1 in a way. Got it. So if anybody's familiar with 1, like they have the 8 different tiered magics. It's similar in this one where it's like subdivided in tier 1, 2, and 3. And then you also have SP for your weapon skills. So like Discus, B/, those abilities rely on SP. And then the MP determines the tier of spells you can cast and how much MP you have on it. So like we need to micromanage SP so that we have AoE attacks. And then we need to micromanage the MP for our mages so that we have good AoE as well. Because this boss has a billion things to hit you with, and we really just need to keep them from acting as much as possible.
A lot of tentacles.
It's
Yeah.
I swear it's an anime. It's definitely an anime. It is not the other variety of anime. This is an anime. It's an anime.
It is. You kind of want also some of the characters being separated, and also a lot of power mushrooms on Rep.
Yeah, this is one of those places where like normally you don't bother moving too much to get characters into separate spots, but because this boss has so many different like AoE moves, you really have to break the party up to have any chance of survivability. It's super annoying. And we start off with just these 3 different targets, but it's going to get a lot more complicated real quick, unfortunately.
Also, they can spawn 2 or 1, and you hope they don't spawn 2 both. This is, well, best outcome so far.
1-1,
Oh, yeah.
nice.
And
Is there an upper limit on the amount of tentacles that can be spawned in at once?
well, yeah, there's limit how many enemies there can be on fights. They can spawn probably like maybe 4 of them or 5. I don't know exactly the limit, but
Yeah, the reason I ask is it can just keep spawning tentacles and like you're just trying to race to get rid of them ASAP, because if the boss starts taking turns, which it will eventually, you're in a really bad spot. So the whole chance is to go ahead.
Rap sure shines in this fight.
Yeah, side throw is just the best. A lot of the fights are making sure that we have specific spells and abilities coming into these final fights. Uh-oh. Fun has already been canceled, apparently.
Here we go.
Yeah, but we end up in this pattern where we're just doping our abilities over and over again, and then trying to stun lock the boss out of taking turns as much as possible.
Oh, this can be really dangerous.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
How much? Oh yeah, I do have to. Okay, good. Well, that's not good target.
Yeah. Well, now everybody's split up at least. Guess if we're looking for something positive out of this.
Was kind of hard. I should just use the chat all on the other, but well, I don't know exactly what doing. Oh, wait. This is gonna hurt as well.
I'm surprised anybody can know what they're doing with this boss fight. It is just so chaotic. Even casually, this boss fight is super hard to get through.
There's the revivers.
It can be, yeah. I mean, me and Jewel have lost a pretty good amount of runs here, I think.
I remember getting very frustrated with this casually, too. This is probably one of the hardest final boss fights. Honestly, the fact that there's not a save before it is really annoying, too.
They gotta add some challenge, don't they?
There's their first move.
Uh-oh.
Also,
This is why we were like worried about letting them survive, because this is what you're trying to avoid. Once there's 4, they can start doing this, and boy is this BS. Luckily, we have the revive stone, but it still puts our speed at 0. So I think we can get rid of a couple of them here because they were half dead, but that still leaves 4 on the field, so they can do the.
Or they use both.
Oof.
Have some PTSD moment here.
Yeah, I could see this like forever breaking somebody mentally. This is like a long-term, deep impact. I'm gonna need to go see my therapist tomorrow type situation.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Okay.
Okay, I think.
Yeah, I can't have enough. I
one of, like,
just have to kill this at least.
Yeah, the big thing is like you also need them hitting you to go in a certain way so that you can actually finish them off before it gets too out of control. We're in a pretty tight situation, but it's not completely unwinnable yet. But it's also not the best. We got one down. That's good. Puts us in a much better position, that's for sure. That is annoying.
Okay, I could just kill this Roy one with full power.
Yeah, this is one of those like weird ones where this is like a super skill check because it's the boss can be so different every single time you fight that learning this there's really like no easy way to learn this fight. The entire fight is just reacting to what you get basically, whereas a lot of other games have kind of a fixed strategy. There is obviously the goal is to get rid of the tentacle producing parts as quickly as possible, but you know, reacting to what RNG you get is super important. Ooh, that's pretty nice, actually. Got a couple of tentacles out, but this has been pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Hey, good stuff.
Wow, really good play from Jewel too.
Can't do much here.
I will give it to him though. He definitely knows how to bounce back.
This fight is all reacting and knowing when to push and when to pull back. The fact that we have just the main core left, we should be in a winning position, but
for sure we will.
Honestly, the main part is just getting past the tentacle phase and being able to push into just targeting the main one. And then at that point, you're just kind of recovering as needed and then slamming on the gas to get through. Since we just got the one target left, we should be able to get everybody up and then just start bursting down the final boss.
We're going to show him the cool thing after this, right?
Of course.
Good stuff.
Oh, no. This isn't a full run. We're just doing a showcase of the like more rude parts of Grandia to kind of show off why it may show up in a marathon, but not like in a RTA marathon, most likely. I'd be super happy if we got to show this off at Limit Break, but more likely, if we do end up showing this off, it'll have to be a one-off show like this because this is a fairly long run.
I'd sure like to get to Ball in 2 hours.
I know, right? That would, I mean, if we could get here that fast, you know, we might be able to do a full run showcase. But yeah,
power stuff again.
Cutscene remover. I am a big proponent of cutscene remover when at all like possible, especially as somebody that like organizes a RTA event because it allows runners to show off their chosen run without impacting the schedule as much, so that other people can show off their runs as well. This one I think would be kind of weird trying to figure out how to cutscene remove because some of it's just dialogue too.
Well, even if you can remove the cutscenes in this game, it would still take longer than 2 hours to do.
Yeah, for sure.
It would probably, if every cutscene in the game was removed, it'd probably take you like maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah,
if that.
The only downside to things like that is cutscene remover is neat. It speeds up the run a lot. But the other thing you got to remember is it flips the run on its head in a way where, like, as a runner, you don't really have any breaks anymore. So now instead of an 8-hour run where you have a couple of spots where you can like go use the restroom or take a shower, get food, whatever, you now are dedicated to a 4-hour endurance test, which is a completely different skill set.
I think Well, I think that for the most part, if the cutscenes wise, I think there's like, what was it like? Basically, any voice acting line I would consider a break. Which, to be fair, that's not many of them, but I think the longest voice acting cutscene in the game, aside from the beginning one, obviously, is where you go to a Lent. Yeah, I think it's a Lent. Yeah, that's it. The end of that area, it's like a 5-minute cutscene of just Liette just talking about history stuff. And
yeah. That's right here. The cutscenes are good for a mental break. Because like I'm running Remake and Rebirth. The thing is though, like we can actually fast forward during cutscenes now, and it took a while to get used to because we can fast forward the cutscenes and boss fights. And I tell you what, it's very easy to underestimate how nice it is to have a mental reset in between two phases. Because now I have to be active the whole boss fight. Cutscene remover is good for viewers, but it definitely puts a strain on the runner, for sure.
Right.
But yeah, this last part is basically just smash.
Just hit it again.
Yeah. As he doesn't have really any major strong moves, at least.
Yeah, both of these fights are like making it through the initial part. The first one is like getting rid of the cyst, and then this one is like getting rid of at least one of the tentacle spawners, and then you should be in a winning position from there as long as things don't go too wacky. It's really nice to like that we were able to show off both of these fights in this showcase, because normally these fights are so RNG dependent that most every fight here turns into an unwinnable scenario, unfortunately. It's really cool that we got a chance to showcase this. And it also showcases Jules' skill to be able to catch up to this and react properly.
Yeah, the glitches, yeah. At the end, at least.
Yeah, so that's the final boss. But there's a better way to do this fight. And you may ask yourself, how is there a better way to do this fight? And my answer to you is not doing it.
Not doing it.
Yeah, you're going to show it.
Yeah, this is one of the nice... go ahead.
You have... At least here you have saved once more after doing the first glitch. Just,
yeah.
As you have to do the glitch up, the soft reset, what I have done with many times here already when going through the different saves. But they are doing it during the encounter animation, whatever happens. Like,
yeah.
Here.
This is part of the reason why the PC run is like highly suggested too. There was this glitch was found somewhat recently, fairly quick after the PC version came out. But it turns out
it makes the enemies also just have the one main body, which is kind of funny. But you can just escape here.
This glitch was found accidental, by the way. It was found accidental by someone who didn't even speedrun Grandia. He still doesn't He still hasn't speedrun the game. It was found on accident.
Casual player, yeah. I remember because I just kind of idle out in the Grandia Discord and notice when people do messages because it's such a. Go ahead.
Yes. It exactly do this one. Just some bosses it just do that. Just some reason it's already beaten, but some bosses just FPS again. Like normally they do.
It is worth noting you cannot do this on every single boss fight in the game, unfortunately. But to be fair though, that would kind of take the fun out of the speed run if you were to skip every single boss. But the other notable fight you can skip though is you could skip Ball 2 using this glitch as well. You just you just save the game before the fight, soft reset upon loading in, you escape, fight's over.
Yeah. Honestly, it's fortunate because as you could tell, those last two fights were very difficult, and it kind of stinks getting to the end of an 8-hour run only to be denied by the enemy simply having a turn slightly before you.
I think the other hard fight, like the one really hard fight, is when you fight ball 1 the first time. I think that's like the hardest fight in the run, if I'm not mistaken. Also, I didn't even really notice this before. Kayakor is just in the straight up wrong location. He's not even. I never noticed that.
Also, they can just move as well randomly. They can just like the Squid King is the first one that you can skip, and it's kind of funny to see him just move when he uses normal attack. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, but the nice, but for better or worse, this means that the final boss fight is like kind of moved up. So the ball fight that we were shown earlier is more or less the final boss.
And that's the way to do faster.
Yeah, you just don't even fight the final boss. The final boss is that
the friends we made along the way.
Finally, the final boss fight in any percent is that I forget what the boss's name is, but the one before you fight ball 3, I don't remember.
Yeah, there's some like Nova adjacent boss. Yeah,
I'd say the most funniest thing about this is also one that you can skip.
Gaia armor.
The glitch.
It's Gaia armor. That's it.
I mean the Trent.
Or Trent, yeah. That's. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, never mind.
Yep,
you're
after
right.
There's some reason Rap should join you after this fight, but as this glitch goes, he's invisible until middle of fight. I can just.
It's actually kind of cool how we can actually do this without really breaking anything.
Yeah.
And he's gone. And Rap is also just.
Because the PC version of Remake, or not Remake, but Final Fantasy VII is similar. Vanilla 7 on PlayStation, most of these really like broken warp glitches like this aren't functional. Outside of the ones that the community, forced to work, like Oceanfly, but a lot of the PC versions handle things in a different way, so you can get away with these kind of skips, which is super nice.
Yeah. Also thinking like mentioning almost all the bosses that this glitch works. It's the Squid King, all the trio, the Nana, Saki, Nana, and Mio, the single fights.
Is it faster in every circumstance, or is it just faster for ball?
It is faster on every case. It's just
I figured the fights are pretty swingy.
It's only time when I just kill the boss is the Squid King, just because you get really quickly to kill the boss and get the money and EXP out of it.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
But everything else is kind of slow to kill. Which that Trent fight example, I can't even probably defeat that one part without Rap. Justin and Fina is just too weak against even a single part, which is kind of funny on over. Yeah, not sure what else I could anymore show. Of course, I could just show the glitch. This is the other one, just when the glitch works.
I gotta say, I love how the background, like you load some sort of debug menu or something or sprite table, and the game's just like, okay.
Yeah, it also shows all the save files on the the names there, and some probably some random item icons and whatever. all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it really strikes me like the Final Fantasy VII debug room. Outside of it, like the debug room in 7 being organized as much as you can call it organized, or like organized chaos. Yeah, remember how much trouble we had with this guy earlier too. So we get another free fight here, which makes this a lot more reasonable. It's lucky that we can use it on the specific fights, because some of these are like really unnecessarily difficult. But because of this, we can skip some of the more unreasonably RNG heavy fights.
And it's done. Also, Justin is disappeared there.
I never noticed that.
Yeah.
Oh, and he just reappeared.
Yeah, it's even sometimes it's that kind of random thing on many other cutscenes as well. Just some characters disappearing.
So
Kind of funny.
I mean, it sounds like you've showed everything you want to. Is there anything else that comes to mind before we?
I don't. I mean, there are other things, of course, but not sure is it anything new at the end. Just like Trinity to fight, I was thinking like Bal 1, but they are about same. Trinity to fight, you basically kill the Mio first, the biggest one, that they don't need to use the Trinity to attack anymore afterwards.
I see. Well, then I guess. Go ahead.
I'd say maybe it's good enough, or
Sounds good. So we'll wrap it up here. I will sneak in real quick and remind everybody game submissions are open till the 18th. We also do have openings for people to submit as producers, content production, and content crew. So basically interviews, stuff like that. If you're planning on going on site, consider please doing any of those. You'll be able to find those through our Discord. I do have it linked in the pinned commission as the pinned message as well on Twitch. But you can find all this stuff through our Discord. And now I'm going to kick it back and let Jules and 30Cents say their goodbyes before we head on out for the day.
Thanks for having us, y'all. I really appreciate it. And thank you to Jewel and Sid for having me on, because it was actually really fun revisiting this, because I haven't done Grandia commentary in years. So it's been really fun.
also, yeah, thanks for watching it. And yeah, it was kind of fun kind of go through this casually speedrun for it been a while when I speedrun this game as well, just because reasons.
Yeah, because I think you're doing like Grandia 3 right now. So if anybody's interested in that, I believe that's something you're currently working on.
Yeah, when I currently I have a lot more work to kind of like stopping to do any speedruns, but when I have free time, I'm gonna do those speedruns for Grandia 3.
Sounds good.
And this Grandia 1, not sure when it could come back in. It's kind of only one with Grandia 1, the original version that I could try to get better, but that is painful.
Yeah, as this show is showcased, that it is a practice in mental fortitude. Well, I think that's going to do it for us today. Thanks, everybody, for dropping by and enjoying the show. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with a Valkyria Chronicles showcase. If you guys are interested with that, I talked with those runners, and that's going to be a very fun one. But that will do it, and we will see you guys next time. Have a great Sunday.
Thanks, y'all.